People with disabled children, what's your most memorable moment with them? My son was 5 years old when he told me for the first time that he wishes he was normal, but he didn't say that because he was feeling off that day. Rather because my brother-in-law Jared told him normal boys didn't cry at fireworks. That moment broke me, because despite my son being high-functioning autistic and cognitively brilliant, he already knew that he was not good enough for the people around us. My wife left when he was 4 and blamed him. She told him he was defective, and after she left, her family started hovering over us like a pack of seagulls circling a french fry. First came the unsolicited advice, then the visits. Then Jared, the ex-brother-in-law who once left my son alone at a gas station, by accident, started showing up more. "You've got to toughen him up," Jared said. "He needs to learn to stop whining over stupid things like sound." That same week, he tricked my son into getting into his truck for ice cream, then left him at a playground 3 towns over, and called CPS on me for neglect. It thankfully didn't stick, but it planted a seed in my in-laws' head that I was unfit to parent. Soon after, my ex-wife's parents filed for emergency custody, but they didn't use the gas station or the ice cream incident to prove their point. Instead, they used my son's autistic behavior to prove that I was abusive. As an example, they cited that him screaming during a thunderstorm was proof I was abusing him. They also cited that him biting a classmate when his sensory overload hit was proof I was teaching him it's okay to be violent. It didn't matter to them that my son loved me, that he couldn't stop jumping up and down and hugging me every time I came home from work. All that mattered to them was taking him from me. And so, they gathered screenshots, twisted the narratives, and hired a sleazy lawyer who looked like he took pride in getting predators off the hook. All I had was my son and the truth. When trial day came, I knew the courtroom would overwhelm him. So I did what I always did. I prepared him. We read court transcripts, watched old proceedings, practiced with stuffed animals. I explained what custody meant. I showed him how to breathe when it got too loud, and I made sure he knew that I loved him more than anything in this world. In the courtroom, the in-laws sat smug, Jared winking at me like he'd already won. As expected, their attorney painted me as negligent. He said my son needed proper structure, even fabricated a lie about me laying hands on him. It was a nightmare. When he was finished, the whole courtroom looked at me like I was a monster. I looked over at my son, expecting him to be sad or nervous. But instead, he was mad, like he wasn't about to let someone lie about his dad. He got called on stand, and just like we practiced, he began speaking. But he didn't follow the script. At first anyway. Instead, he started going off. That man was lying. Never talk about my dad like that again. He never hit me. He loves me. When Mom hit me, he stopped her. I love my dad so much. He never lets my peas touch my mashed potatoes. He puts labels on my bookshelves so I can find every story. He doesn't lie. Ever. The room stilled. "I know Article 3 of the Family Code," my son added. "It says the court wants what is best for me, and what is best for me is staying with my dad." My in-law's lawyer tried to immediately object, but the judge held up a hand. "Let him finish. Dad doesn't make me feel different like they do," my son said, pointing at Jared. "He makes me feel normal, like I'm actually cool. I love him." I wiped my face. I hadn't cried since my wife left. But that day, I couldn't stop bawling looking at my son. The judge ruled in our favor. Full custody to me. No visitation rights were granted to the in-laws. Jared stood up, red-faced. "This is a joke!" The bailiff approached him as he continued to yell. "You'll regret this. You think this ends here?" They were escorted out. But as they passed, my ex-mother-in-law said, "You don't know what you've started. The full story where the in-laws go crazy is in the link below."